Good day and welcome to Market Bites as we explore the world of stock market, pooled funds, bonds, exchange traded funds, and even real estate investment trusts and everything in between, one webisode at a time. And today we're going to answer a few questions, a number of inquiries asking about what exactly is this 8K rule. So we've been getting questions from a number of channels, PMs, First MetroSec Facebook community. Sir Ndoy, ano po ba yung 8K rule? Should I follow the 8K rule? Can someone explain to me what the 8K rule is? Applicable po ba ang 8K rule if I add shares to my existing portfolio? Kailangan pa rin ba ang 8K rule even if I am doing cost averaging strategy? And most importantly, let's address this question. Legit po ba ang 8,000 rule pagdating sa stocks? No? First off, let me be very clear that the 8K rule may only apply to stocks, real estate investment trusts, or REITs, or ETFs, or First Metro Exchange Traded Fund. Because these three asset classes, they're all bought from the stock exchange. No? And therefore, they follow the same fee schedule. So again, the 8K rule, it does not apply to mutual funds and unit investment trust funds, FundSmart, because the fund management fee varies from fund to fund. It also is not applicable to corporate and government bonds because their fees, yung mga corporate and government bonds natin, their fees are based on a certain percentage of the price of the bond. Tapos meron pa tayong dinadagdag dyan na third-party charges, usually somewhere between 1 to 5%. So again, let me be very clear right from the get-go. Ngayon pa lang, as early as this part of this webisode, the 8K rule only applies to stocks, FMETF, and real estate investment trusts because they are bought from the stock exchange and therefore they follow the same fee schedule. So now, if a question involves numbers, then the answer should also require numbers. 8K rule, 8,000 rules. So now let's try to run some figures, right? If you look at the online trading link from the products and services tab of First MetroSec, so you go to our website, punta kayo sa products and services, look for the online stock trading link, it will lead you eventually to the charges. No? How much am I going to be charged for every transaction? If we're going to look at it, if you see the breakdown of charges, and if you look close enough, it says there that the online trading clients, our online trading clients, and this is an industry standard. So most definitely, this is not just applicable. This is not only being done by First MetroSec, but most of the online stock brokerage firms out there. That's why 8K rule. Hindi naman siya 8K rule of First MetroSec. It's really an 8K rule. Now, it says there that online trading clients are charged 0.25%. I need you to be very attentive here. 0.25% of the gross value or 20 pesos per transaction, per trade, whichever is higher. So you're seeing two conditions. By default, it's 0.25% of the amount or 20 pesos per trade, per transaction. And then there's actually a third condition, whichever is higher. Now, these are figures I was talking about earlier. These are the numbers I was trying to point out earlier. And this is where the 8K rule came from. But how? Andoy, paano? Wala naman ako nakitang 8,000 dyan. No? You might ask. Again, let's try to run the numbers. Let's jump straight to the answer. The 8K rule came to be because based on industry standard online trading fees, which is again 0.25% or 20 pesos per trade, whichever is higher, 8,000 pesos happen to be the sweet spot. All right. It's the sweet spot between 0.25% and the gross value of the gross value and 20 pesos per trade. So if you invest, for example, again, let's run the numbers. Now, if you invest 8,000 pesos and if you multiply that by 0.25%, it will give you 20 pesos. So it's both 0.25% of the gross amount, and it's also 20 pesos all at the same time. Again, 8,000 pesos, that's the sweet spot. No? So whether you invest in stocks, ETFs, or REITs, 8,000 pesos happens to be the sweet spot as far as charges are concerned. So you practically get charged with 0.25%, which happens to be equal to 20 pesos. So again, that means you just made the most out of your investable funds as far as charges are concerned. Hindi ka lugi, so to say. Now, let's move on to scenarios. Let's move on to scenarios. So to prove this point, to further prove this point, let's say you invested an amount less than 8,000 pesos. Okay, para ma-prove natin na tama, 8,000 nga pala talaga. Let's use 4,000 pesos. It's an amount less than 8,000 pesos. So in this example, following the same logic, 4,000 pesos worth of stocks, REITs, or ETFs, mathematically speaking, if you multiply 4,000 by 0.25%, you should only be getting 10 pesos. So again, mathematically speaking, 4,000, 0.25%, 10 pesos. But because the rule book says that 0.25% or 20 pesos, whichever is higher, ang ibig sabihin nun, instead of you getting charged by only 10 pesos, again, because of the rule book, you're supposed to get charged 20 pesos. Whether you like it or not, you're going to get charged 20 pesos because the rule book says so. All right. So what the 8K rule tells us is it's going to cost you less if you invest 8,000 pesos in just one go. Because again, you're just going to get charged 20 pesos. But if you invest 4,000 pesos twice or 8,000 pesos in true transactions, it's going to cost you more because you're going to be charged a total of 40 pesos. It's cheaper if you do 8,000 pesos in one transaction compared to 8,000 pesos in two tranches. It's going to be more expensive. Ganun din, let's try to break it down in 4 transactions. It's cheaper if you buy 8,000 pesos worth of shares, stocks, ETFs, REITs in one go, instead of investing 4 times nothing to 2,000 pesos. So 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. So you're going to get charged 4 times 20 pesos or 80 pesos for the entire, for those transactions. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. The 8K rule is true. So to answer that question, kanina kung natatandaan nyo, sir, is the 8K rule legit? Legit po ba ang 8K rule? Yes. So it's true. But practically speaking, it tends to blindside investors because it highlights a savings of just about 10 pesos per transaction. But it does not consider the possibility of offsetting the charges by being able to make, take advantage of bad market opportunities. You just can keep on waiting for the time that you get 8,000 pesos. If you have an opportunity to make an informed investment today, then do it. Kasi baka masyadong nagtitipid tayo sa 10 piso na natitipid natin from charges that we let a very good investment opportunity that could potentially earn us thousands slip away. All right? So sayang yung opportunity. Nagtipid lang tayo ng 10 pesos. So again, ladies and gentlemen, don't get me wrong. Mathematically speaking, the 8K rule totally makes sense. All right? It's true. It's proven. I've shown you proof that it really exists. It is, it really makes sense. Nakatipid talaga siya sa charges, but realistically speaking, it can delay your investing because people tend to wait for the time na magkaroon sila ng 8,000 pesos before they actually invest. At the end of the day, it's totally up to you. I leave the decision to you. What's important is you're given both sides of the story. Are you going to follow the 8K rule just to save on cost? Or perhaps disregard it, especially if you see the opportunity worth taking advantage of? All right? 20 pesos per share, 0.25%, sweet spot. Or perhaps okay lang if you get charged 40, 80 pesos if it can potentially earn you thousands of pesos. I do hope this video was able to shed light to this 8K rule concern of yours. Now, for speaking engagement, financial investment literacy program requirements, you need not go far. The market education team of the best stock brokerage firm in the Philippines is just one email away. So please do get in touch with us by emailing marketeducation@firstmetrosec.com.ph. Please follow our socials, like us on Facebook, and perhaps join our official Facebook community. Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. Subscribe to our official YouTube channel and join our official Viber community so you don't miss a market beat. So this has been Andoy Beltran, and I do hope to catch you guys again in the next webisode of Market Bites. Always remember, with First Metro Sec, it's hashtag your future first.